YouTube, it's Cutt here, and we're bringing you another one. And welcome to Tutorial Tuesdays, where I'm going to teach you how to draw hair. Well, women's hair. Let's get started. First of all, if you have not already, don't forget to like, subscribe, push that notification button, because we're going to keep bringing this stuff to you. Now, before we start doing different styles, I just want to kind of go over a few of the fundamentals of how to draw hair. So just for the sake of understanding, so my mom's actually a hairdresser and she's really, really good. She even was teaching hair for some time. So I know a lot about hair and I know how to put it on paper. So the one thing you don't want to do is look at hair as a bunch of strands, okay? Although hair is a bunch of strands, that's not how you should look at hair, just as much as you shouldn't look at a tree as a bunch of leaves. You should look at a tree, you should look at a hair, you should look at any object that has a lot of things as one big shape. So let's just say we're doing some type of like, I don't know, wavy situation. All right, I know that's the path I want. Now I have to give it a little bit of value and kind of, you know, push it out a little bit, just to make this bigger so we can see it a little bit. Oh, come on. Come on. It don't want to work with me today. Okay. Now the way it works is, and this is with light in general, wherever light is the most closest to an object is the higher the brightness is going to be. That's why the edge of an object is usually brighter. The plane of an object that's facing the light is usually brighter. Same thing with the hair. Okay. Now I'm not really going to do a light source, but I'm just going to show you where the light is closely hitting. And that's in this area. This area right here is where the light is going to be hitting most, these areas. Okay? That means that's where you lose detail in the illustration and you get more highlights. Okay? So just keep that in mind when you're doing hair. Now, I'm not going to do our final drawings in this way, but just for the sake of understanding how hair works, I'm going to show you how I add detail. And you can see I'm just adding the stroke lines in the darker areas, and then I kind of skipped the middle and went to the top area. Okay, and I'm just adding detail, and already you can see that's starting to feel a lot like hair. Okay, and I'm not doing this perfectly because this is just, you know, just to understand. And I'm going in adding a little bit inside, but not as dark as I am adding it here. I'm even going to go in with the eraser and just erase more of the middle. Come back in. And then I did this line here by accident, but I like the way it looks, so I'm adding more detail into it so it's deeper in. Okay, going in, just erasing a little bit, adding some bounce lighting. Okay, and you see how that's really coming together. Now, all styles of drawing does not come with this amount of detail, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just showing you how you can build up. The style I'm going to go with is the more cartoony style, so we're not going to have strands of hair, but at least when you understand the fundamentals, you're able to apply it with detail, and you're able to apply it with simplicity. So I'm just kind of going in, knowing where the light is hitting. So I know the light is hitting in these peaks, which means in these deeper areas I can go dark because it doesn't matter so much. You know, you can go back in, add some more strands that kind of peek out, or, you know, come over here. And, you know, there's no, I mean, here just doesn't really have a right or wrong to it. It's just about understanding how it works. Okay, I really don't know how I have these headsets on because I don't hear anything. It's not like I hear my voice in it. All right, so you can see how it started with the structure first and then you go that way, right? So you have to first see the shape of the object and then you can go from there. Now, I think when it comes to like curly hair, if you're doing something that's a little bit more organic, you don't really have to think too much about the shape if you don't want to, because with curly hair, you can go ahead and get just the locks of the curly hair without even thinking about, you know, too much of the structure. So I'm just kind of going in and just adding in these curly locks, and you can go in this case, just, you know, do a little bit of erasing at the top. You can see how that's adding value to the hair. Okay, you get what I'm saying? So there's just no right or wrong to it. All right, so I wanted to show that, but now we're gonna go into the fun stuff. Okay, so I made this robotic base of a female's head. This particular video is just gonna be about sketching it, getting a good foundation sketch, and then in the next video we'll do highlights in colors to the ink lines. Okay, excuse me. So I'm gonna add this layer here. This is just so I can go over top of it. I'm just gonna put this in a group. Okay, we're just gonna bring this down. And if you want to check out my tutorials on Procreate 101, beginners for Procreate for beginners, Procreate for beginners, click the link right here at the top, right here, and you'll be able to see a full breakdown on how to use Procreate. Okay. Now, I have some. You probably already saw some references over here, and my idea today is not to like exact replica, but just to get inspiration on different things. Now, I'm gonna do my first go-to type of hairstyle, and that's anything with a swoop. Okay, a good example over here. You see that swoop? Absolutely. The swoop? Absolutely. The swoop? Absolutely. We like a swoop. All right, so I'm gonna do it just from my own, you know. So I like to start with the swoop just because that helps me define what direction this is gonna go, right? And I think I'm gonna go long for this one. And you can see I'm not like pressing really hard. This is just I'm just getting a shape of what I feel would work. Okay, just some type of shape that feels good to me. Okay, I'm just kind of doing something like this, a little bit on the shoulder, and then boom, nothing really happened. But it's just enough of a suggestion that there is hair here. Okay, hair. Okay, so now that I have that, now that I kind of know, all right, I have an idea of the direction the hair is going to go. Now I can go in and give it more. I'm just going to go a little darker here, a little bit more of a defining shape. Okay, so you always have to decide what direction is the hair going. Okay, is it going over this and then under, which I do like? Okay, is it folding under this way? Like, you have to feel from your rough sketch, you're really rough, how you can define this a little bit better. Okay, so I like the idea that this is peeking over. Okay, this is coming over here like this. Okay, I'm really liking that. So now I have to get this. So I don't like that. I'm gonna erase that. Got to figure out. Sometimes you need some baby hairs for these edges. Okay, but I think I'm just gonna do a line here. Okay, as if the hair is like kind of going up, and then I'm gonna go here and just giving it a little bit of detail here. And I want the hair to come up. I'm going to erase this. It's coming up, and then I want to go around like that. So you see how I'm just defining what direction the hair is going. Okay, so now this is above the air. Now I'm behind the air. I'm going to come down. Okay, just like that. I want this to swoop around. Now, mind you, this is not based upon the references I have on the left necessarily, but this is just my imagination based upon, you know, what I already know and then what feels good according to the sketch. So you can see that left side is pretty much done. Just need a little bit of coffee here. A little bit of energy. I'm a little drained. I'm not even gonna lie to you. So now we're gonna bring this up, okay? And this swoop is defined, but not as like swoopy as I usually would do. It's like the fact that it's cutting down like that. I don't usually do that, but I like it. So I'm just kind of bringing this up here, defining where does this break off, okay? And let me erase that. I don't know, one side of me likes the way that looks. The other side of me is like, do like that. I'm just gonna do what feels good right now, okay? And now I'm just gonna bring this around, okay? I'm gonna flip the canvas. You can flip the canvas by tapping, and then it should be there. I think it's the default because I don't remember ever changing these. I don't really like changing these little type of settings. People do, but I don't know. I'm just too lazy to do that. Okay, I'm gonna flip it. Okay, it's looking good, but I can already see I'm probably going too far up. Over here is a little extra for no reason. So what I'm gonna do is erase a little bit and just bring it down a little bit. I'm deciding what direction I want to go with the hair. I think I don't want like this big curl, like I don't want that, but what I do want is that it falls back into the hair. So I'm just kind of, it's weird, you do a rough, I did that rough sketch. I'm doing a little bit more of a detailed sketch, but now I'm kind of reverting back to that rough sketch because even though I did it, it's not defined enough for me to make a decision. So I'm kind of like, okay, where do I want, let me just erase this a little bit. Where do I want this to go? So I'm kind of like, all right, I want her head of hair to be here, and I want this to flow back into the hair. I'm going to do one curl here, as if it breaks off. It's cut shorter here, and then we're going back. Okay, I'm going to flip this. This is a good feeling. Okay, it's not too bad. All right, I think I want to come down like this, so you can see I had the line here, but it's feeling too pushed out. So I'm like, all right, I want to kind of go down a little bit, okay, and then wrap back around like that. That feels good. Okay, see how that works? So now we're getting more of a swoop here. I think I'm gonna do one more like curl type of thing. Okay, and now I'm just kind of, so now that I have that, I'm gonna kind of go in with a little bit of a deeper brush just to kind of define it better. And this is important because if I try to ink it at the earlier stages and I'm not certain or sure of my line work, then I might make weird decisions. So I'm kind of, this is why going back and giving it a little bit more detail in the sketch phase allows you to make a firmer decision on what's what. Okay, so I know I want this to do something like that, fall back here. And this is, you can tell this is an exaggerated hairstyle. You know, it's not super realistic, but it's enough to know like, okay, this is definitely, it's definitely here. I'm gonna come back here. And then one thing I love, so anytime I do something like that, I'm making a mental note that that's transparent. There's no hair here. There's going to be an empty hole or something like that. It may stick, it may not stick, but I'm making a mental note. So I didn't do it anywhere else because even over here, I already knew I was going to fill that in with hair. I love when hair does this and then there's a break, something like that, but I don't like it in that area. This particular style might not get it besides in that area. So I'm just going to kind of wrap this around again. This one I want to stay behind her. I did draw as if it's coming in front, but actually I don't want it in front. We're just gonna, okay. It's gonna come over here like this, come over here like this. So I think this looks really, really good. I'm just kind of defining the edges a little bit more over here. Something like this, something like that, something like this. This might be an area I'll have transparent because it is kind of feeling like it could break off right here. Kind of liking that. And now you can see it's not about the individual strands of hair. It's about the overall shape that I want to convey. Okay. And I think that looks really good. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back here because the left side, well, in this case, the right side, but the left side of her, I'm liking a little bit more. What I'm going to do is go to liquify. I'm just going to push this out a little bit more. I feel like it's not giving what I want. So I'm just going to push it out. Even push this one out a little bit. You see how more full that feels, more intentional. So that's where it is now. That's before. See the difference? And I'm just going to flip it because I like that feels really full. Okay, for the sake of this first one, I'm gonna actually go and turn this off. I'm gonna grab a layer here. Let's go to this dark here, and I'm just gonna roughly bring this up. I'm just gonna roughly fill this in real quick. And you see that? This is just a grayscale. This is not with detail. This is me just rushing and pushing through it. Not even really, you know, thinking too much about because I like the hard and the soft shadows. But I just kind of just push through to get the feeling. And I really already love that so much. Okay, so let's do another style. I'm just gonna put this in one group. Okay. Black. Now let's try to follow one a little bit more closely. So we just did kind of something long. I really want to do something like this. That's Taraji P. Henson. You know, it's ironic because when I put in hair for females, a lot of celebrities pop up. When you put hair for males, no celebrities pop up. Just regular random men. So you'll see more celebrities in this than you would typically. Now, let's just get my brush right here. Now, this is a shortcut. I'm not gonna go like perfectly exactly, but we're gonna try to follow it so that we can get a feeling of taking a reference and taking it to an illustrated cartoony route. Okay, so we already know her part is over here. Okay, somewhere like that. It's very high at the top of her head. It's not like this long part. It's right at the top. Okay, so we know we're coming over, something like that. We know that there's hair over here, and we know that there's hair over here. There's less hair over here, more hair over here. Okay, and it comes down a little bit. Boom. This comes a little bit more to her neck. So that's the hair right there. We're done. All right, wrapping it up. We're done. We're done. It's done. There it is. No, but it's just to understand. Now, I don't like how, let me bring this, I made this top a little bit too much. I do like how it's kind of smaller into that. Okay, this is that turning point. Okay, let's pretend the eyes are here. Okay, so she comes up. Okay. Okay, the hair's, excuse me, here. It's really not necessarily apart. it's a part, but it's not like all the way to the scalp. It's really just kind of like parted, if that makes any sense. Okay. And you can see she comes down like that. Okay, and then she comes over. You can tell it's bending. There's a curl bending back like this. Okay, then there's curls coming down. This is getting tucked. So you can see it's not like strand by strand by strand by strand. It's just, what is the shape? What is the shape? This is kind of coming up over here like that. Okay. So already I'm just looking at this side. We can feel the same situation going. I'm just going to kind of come over like this. Boom. Already feeling that. Okay, and then I'm just going to kind of press that out like this, and then just kind of wiggling out some baby hair type strands like that. And we know that the hair is going back, and then the hair is going back like that, right? Or up and out like that. Okay, now let's get this bigger chunk. So we're gonna round this out. Where we at? We're gonna go. Now it's kind of like, okay, because I like how it's like coming around. So I'm just kind of making this one, but then there's like a little bit of an under like that. And then this is coming about, okay, so that's coming down like that. Right, so she got that flipped out. So I'm just gonna kind of make this shape to give us that. But then she's coming down and over. Okay, there's some here. Okay, I'm liking that. That's coming down and over. Okay, this is coming kind of out like this. Okay, that was a little journey there. I'm not liking this. Just kind of coming in. So it's not exactly how her hair is, but it definitely allows you to say, okay, I know what style they're going for. I know what look he's going for. And then it allows me to have my shapes here. Like for instance, her this area right here for her is a lot more curved, but you can see I gave it more of a peak because that's my style. That's how I like things to kind of look. So instead of me like 1000% exactly how she has it, I'm giving my own taste of how I want it to look. So now I'm just kind of going back and defining the most important lines that I think makes up this structure, so that when it's time to ink it, I'm not confused. Okay, so I'm just kind of going in and taking those big lines and just going in and adding detail to it. So you can see, I went in and I treated each lock as its own shape, and now I can get a feeling of what this whole design is looking like. I'm just going to flip the canvas real quick. Yeah, it doesn't look bad at all. This is looking great. So this is a good way, because now it already feels like I inked it. It gives you that feeling of, all right, I know what lines I need to put down when it's time to ink. Okay, so we're going to say this. Don't forget, if you want to check out this full video with the color and the inking, check out the next video that's coming next week. Hopefully it's done by the time you see it. It'll be, I would already have recorded it and then it's ready to go, but don't forget to check that out. Now you might be thinking, all this artwork I'm seeing on your screen, I want to have that as my wallpaper. What a great news is if you join my Patreon and you get the first tier, you actually get early access to the tutorials that you're watching right now. So you might be like, I have questions and I'm trying to figure this out a little bit more deeply, and the comment section is not good enough for me. You can join the Discord and you can be a part of the Patreon, and you get early access and you get to be able to ask more deep questions about what you're learning today. If you get the second tier, you get these wonderful wallpapers. Now, not every single piece that you're seeing here, but every month we do digital wallpapers that's ready for your phone, your tablet, your computer. And the one that we're doing right now, we're going to show real quickly, is this one. All right, and it's gone. Okay, very quickly. But if you really want that, we have that plus a few other designs ready for you when it comes to the, you know, the wallpapers. And if you want to really get down, go ahead and get yourself the VIP. The VIP allows you to get all those things you just saw, but you also are able to get the free digital packs monthly. Okay, if you join, you automatically get the Cutt brush pack #1, and you automatically get the coloring book, the digital Cutt coloring book. But you also get monthly ongoing things that may be vectors, maybe, you know, brushes, maybe 3D models, wherever it is, it'll be ready for you when you join VIP. Okay, so we did the sketch of my own design. Okay, we did, I want to put this in its own, I don't want it in with that. Okay, so we have my own idea, just kind of feeling it. Okay, and then we have the one from a reference, and you can already feel a difference from the one from the reference because it's based off of something that actually is real, and then my own version, my own idea. Okay, and either one can be really good, but it just shows the difference of having a reference and then just coming from your imagination or your own ideas. Okay, now I want to do like a curly hair, like something like this. Now, the way I go about this is a little bit different. So we're going to kind of do the sketch really rough, and then when we go to the inking video, you'll see how I would actually go about this. But what I'm going to do now is get an idea of what I want the shape to look like. Now, I really like the way hers is. I like that it's kind of apart in some way. I like that it has like hair, kind of hair. There's hair coming out in this way, and then it's coming up under, right? I really like that, but I think this is too much at the top, so we're gonna pull that out. Okay, and then we're gonna kind of be more down, like the weight. Now, this is the base here. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is make the brush really big, and I'm just gonna, for now, just make a really rough, wiggly line to indicate the direction I want the hair to go. This is not how the hair will look, but it's just giving an idea of what I want the hair to look like. Okay, so we're just kind of going in, giving it some type of shape. Okay. Because what's going to happen is when we go to inking, I want to give it curls that come out. Okay, but because we're not in that stage, I'm just going to kind of leave it here, and then I'll show you how we can bring detail with that type of style. Okay, so we're just kind of saving this for later. Okay, and then I want to do one last one, which is a shortcut. Okay, let me see. Something similar to this, but maybe more like this. I do like Viola Davis hair when it was short too, but I like how more Pixie Cut, like how much lower this one is. This one has a lot more volume, like it's more. But this, whereas Kelly Rowland's is kind of like a little bit cut to the head. So let's do something like that. Okay. Did I make a layer? Layer. So we have our three, it will be 4 styles that we're gonna update. Okay, so one thing I love about a shortcut is you can do a shortcut, and then the shortcut can also turn into other things, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. So we see there's her hair's coming, well, it's not really coming over her eyes like this. It's kind of going right above her eyes where her eyebrows are. There's some coming down here. There's a little bit of sticking out at the part, and it's kind of coming out like this, like this. Okay, I'm gonna start cutting it here, and I'm just kind of folding it over. Okay, and then I'm kind of coming here. I'm gonna kind of come around like this, coming around like this, and you can see I'm not drawing the hair on this line. That's her skull. I'm drawing it above that line because all hair has volume, so you have to put that hair a little bit above that area. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of do something like that, just kind of giving it a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Okay, now I'm just kind of going in and defining some of those lines. Okay, coming a little bit longer over here. And now I'm going to kind of spike it out a little bit. I don't know what I like over here. Let's fix this. I see how she has it, but I don't know, it's not working for me. So maybe I can. You can see I'm like, okay, I see what the sketch is doing, but is it working for me? Not really. Okay, so let's fix it. So that's not too bad. Let me flip it. It's not too bad. So the good thing about a shortcut is there's so much you can do. Hey, you can be like, oh, you know what? I want this to be a bun. Now automatically it's a bun. Or you're like, I want this to be, I don't know, a ponytail. You know, you're like, all right, I come up here and then it comes down, you know. Maybe you're like, I want it to be, okay, so undoing. Okay, there we go. Or maybe you're like, I want more value over here. I want to add, like, a shortcut can really take it. You can go further and further and further. But we're gonna keep it short because we're gonna have long hair, we have curly hair. So I just wanted to give different options. Okay, so let's look at the ones we've got. So we got the one that was just from my imagination, that has a big swoop and long. Then we have the one that's a short bob type of look. We have the curly hair that has a little bit more work to go, but we're gonna do that in the inking and coloring stage. And then we have the shortcut. The shortcut. I like that. So I really enjoy this. This is fun. I'm looking forward to doing the next stage. If you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, push that notification button because we're gonna keep bringing this stuff to you. That's it. What are you doing? I know you're not about to leave. It's mad buttons down there. You ain't pushed on one of them. You better subscribe to my channel. See you soon.